In October 2024, Harley Benton released the ST Modern. That's this guitar here. It's a modern take on the Fender Stratocaster type of instrument. It costs €179, and well, it's an excellent guitar. Indeed. I did a full in-depth review and demo of it. You can watch that elsewhere on my channel if you'd like to after this, and I came to the conclusion that this might well be the best sub $200 or €200 electric guitar out there. And I know that that's a heady claim, but since then I've had a bit of a time to think about that, and I can't really think of anything that beats it in that price bracket. So if you watching this know of any other guitars for around this price, for sub €200 or $200, that you think can match up to the ST Modern in terms of value for money, in terms of tones, playability, feel and specs, well, let me know. I'll get those guitars in and we might compare them against the ST Modern and see which wins out. But during my thinking about this, I looked at my own guitar collection too, and I have two other Harley Bentons in my collection that cost me less than €200 new, and that are also fantastic guitars for the money and might well give the ST Modern a bit of competition. So what we're going to do in this video is compare these three guitars, and hopefully by the end you'll know which one might be the best for you if you've got a couple of $100 to spend and you're looking for a new Fender inspired instrument. So we're going to be comparing this, the Harley Benton ST Modern, against these. This is the Harley Benton TE-62CC, and this is the Harley Benton JA-60CC. Now the TE-62 is quite obviously a take on a Fender Telecaster, and the JA-60 is, well, obviously a take on the Fender Jazzmaster type of guitar. So these are all Fender-inspired machines, and what I'm going to do in this video is compare the three of them for you in as much detail as possible. I'll start by telling you about the specs and the features of all three, then we'll play them all in as many different musical styles as possible so we can hear how different and how similar they all sound, and at the end I'll give you a few more opinions and tell you which of these guitars I truly think is the best value for money, and whether or not I still think the ST Modern reigns supreme in the sub $200, sub €200 price category. Timestamps to everything down in the comments and the description if you'd like to skip to the parts of the video that suit you best, but let's kick it off with some specs and features, and we'll start with the ST Modern. So the ST Modern is €179, and you really do get quite a lot for your money. Underneath this beautiful seafoam green finish, we have a poplar body on this guitar. We also have Harley Benton's own HBZ pickups in an HSS configuration, which should make this guitar incredibly versatile. And it's more versatile still by the fact that you can pull up the tone knob to split the bridge humbucker down to single coil as well. So we have two extra tonal settings that you might not get on a standard HSS Stratocaster. We have a master volume control too, 5-way switch, and we have a vibrato bridge here. This is made by Sung Il, but it's branded Harley Benton. If I move us around to the back of the guitar, you can see that we have the standard Strat body contouring, but we also have really deep cutaways here to give us improved upper fret access, and you'll also notice that we've got the Harley Benton logo stamped on the neck plate there, which I think is kind of cool as well. Moving up to the neck, we have a roasted maple neck and a laurel fingerboard here, 22 medium jumbo frets on this guitar, we have a 42mm graphite nut, and the scale length is 648mm. That's 25.5 inches, which is your standard Fender Stratocaster scale length. We also have what Harley Benton referred to as a compound radius fingerboard here, so it starts at a thickness of 12 inches down at the bottom and it moves up to 16 inches at the top. So it's very much a modern feeling board, and it's going to be great for chordal playing and riffs down at the bottom, and solos and shredding and whittling away up at the top end as well. Now the neck profile on this guitar is what Harley Benton call their Modern D, so it's a really comfy shape. It's really beautiful and slinky because we've got this lovely satin roasted maple finish as well. Feels fantastic, and I don't think it's going to put anybody off by being too fat or too thin. And up at the headstock, standard Harley Benton Strat type headstock. We also have 6 locking tuners. They're branded Harley Benton, but they're made by Sung Il, just like the vibrato bridge. And one final thing to mention with the ST Modern, which I think is a fantastic touch at this price point, is the fact that if you need to make any neck adjustments, well, the truss rod is accessible via the spoke wheel down here at the body end. A tool comes with the guitar to let you do that, and that makes it as easy as possible to make minor neck adjustments. A fantastic thing at this price point, or indeed at any price point, I think. But anyway, that's the ST Modern, €179, this one will set you back. And now let's look at the Telecaster-inspired TE-62CC. The TE-62CC is the cheapest of the three guitars in today's comparison. This will set you back €149, so it's very, very affordable in the world of the electric guitar, but being Harley Benton, they've packed in the specs for this price point too. Now we have a Lake Placid blue finish here with a mint green scratch plate, and that's covering a basswood body. On the front of the TE-62CC, it looks very classic Tele. We have a 3-saddle bridge here, this is no-name Harley Benton stuff, and we have Roswell T-style pickups too, alongside a standard 3-way switch and a master volume and tone control. So far, so standard Tele. And if I move us around to the back, you can see that we have that simple Telecaster slab and string through body operation here as well. And moving up to the neck, we have what Harley Benton call a caramelized maple neck and fingerboard here. 21 frets. Harley Benton don't tell us what size they are, but I think they must be medium or medium jumbo. We have a 42mm nut, 648mm or 25.5-inch scale length, and the neck profile is Harley Benton's Modern D. It's just the thinnest of the three in today's comparison. Very sleek and slinky again, satin finish too, and feels really nice in the hand. I've had this guitar for a couple of years and I find it really comfortable to play. When it comes to the fingerboard radius here, Harley Benton don't tell us that either, but it's fairly flat, and I would reckon it's probably 10 or maybe even 12 inches. Moving up to the headstock, we have that traditional Tele Strat type headstock, and we have 6-in-line Harley Benton no-name tuners. So this is the €149 TE-62CC, and now let's look at the JA-60CC. We're back to Seafoam Green with the JA-60CC, and this guitar will set you back €179, making it the same price as the ST Modern and €30 more expensive than the TE-62CC. Now the JA-60CC is what I would call a gateway to the world of the offset guitar, because it's like a stripped back, more straightforward version of some of the offerings from the likes of Fender and so on. So what do you get for your money? Well, again, Seafoam Green finish covering a basswood body in this case, and we have a simplified version of what you'd expect to find on a Fender offsets body. Here we have two JM style Roswell pickups and a 3-way selector switch alongside a volume and a tone control, so no extra circuitry that you might expect with a Jazzmaster or a Jaguar, and we have a fixed bridge, stop bar and tailpiece operation here too, so no vibrato or anything like that, which should increase tuning stability of course, but if you want to wobble, well, with these three guitars you've got to go for the ST Modern. Moving round to the back of the JA-60CC, and it's a very simple affair like the TE-62. Lovely seafoam green finish again, and we've got decent upper fret access here as well. Moving up to the neck, we have a roasted maple neck on this guitar, and we have 21 frets on this guitar on a Laurel fingerboard. We have block inlays and a bound neck here, which looks super cool and really adds to the sort of quirky offset vibe of this guitar. Now the frets, Harley Benton don't tell us what size they are, but I'm going to go with medium jumbo purely based on feel. We have a 42mm nut again, and once again 648mm or 25.5-inch scale length. Roasted maple neck here, like I said, and we've got the most rounded and probably the thickest neck of the three guitars on this one, and this is Harley Benton's C-shape. Super comfortable again. It's not going to be too thick for anybody, and it's not going to be too thin for anybody either. It's going to fit pretty much every hand. Moving up to the headstock, and we have 6-in-line Harley Benton tuners on this guitar. So this is the JA-60CC. This will set you back €179, and what we're going to do now is compare this against the ST Modern and the TE-62CC. Now I'll be playing as many riffs in as many different styles of music for you as possible today, and we'll flick quickly back between the guitars so we can really hear the difference in the pickups, the sounds and the performance. We've got JM style pickups in this guitar, we've got HSS Strat pickups in the ST Modern, and we've got Telecaster style pickups in the TE-62CC. So they're all going to sound different for some things, but I think you might be surprised at how similar they sound for others. Like I said though, timestamps to everything down in the description if you'd like to skip to the type of music that suits you best. My rig for today is going to be my Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200 amp head. We'll use a couple of the amp's different channels and a few of my favourite drive pedals to spice things up. So let's get into the playing part now, and I'll give you a few more in-depth opinions afterwards. Okay then, so that was the battle of the affordable Harley Bentons, and I hope you enjoyed the playing and the tones. Leave me a comment down there telling me which of the three guitars you preferred. Are you more of the HSS type, or did you prefer the simplicity of the TE-62, or maybe the offset quirkiness of the JA-60? As usual, I look forward to hearing what you folks think down in the comments. But now it's time for me to give you a few of my opinions about these three guitars. I've had the ST Modern on loan for a few weeks from Harley Benton to make some videos with, and I've owned the other two guitars for a couple of years now, and I've played them all quite a lot in that time. And they are all fantastic value for money. But which one is best? Well, let's go through some of the different categories that you might look at, and maybe we can decide which really is the best value for money. Now, when you're looking for a new guitar, the first thing you're going to be looking at is going to be price. And of course, these three are all very, very affordable. I think sub 200 euros is almost pocket money prices when it comes to guitars these days. And the TE-62CC at 149 euros, well, that's super cheap. That's really comparable with the likes of the Squier Sonic series and other off-brand guitars that you can buy for that sort of money. And for that kind of money, it's incredible value for money. But the ST Modern and the JA-60CC at 179 euros are also fantastic value for money. So they're all winners there. But by the fact that it's 30 euros cheaper, we've got to give that to the TE-62CC. Now, when it comes to looks of the guitar, that's a totally subjective thing. I'm a big fan of Telecasters, and I love Lake Placid Blue as well, so that's a great looking guitar for me. But this morning, the one that caught my eye aesthetically was the JA-60CC. I love an offset body shape as well. I love seafoam green, and a dark fingerboard with binding and block inlays. Well, that's an absolute winner in the looks department. And you know, you can't go wrong with a Strat type body either in this color scheme. And of course, you could also buy the TE-62 in seafoam green as well. So you pay your money, you choose the one that works for you. Let me know which of the guitars you think looks best in the comments. After that, you'd be looking at build quality and the fixtures and the fittings. And well, again, for this price point, you're looking for what's wrong with the guitar, aren't you, really? And there's been nothing wrong with any of these three guitars. And for that reason, I have to say that the ST Modern wins in the quality stakes. We've got a few things that are elevated above the others. We've got the Sung Il Harley Benton branded vibrato bridge here, which really does stay in tune well. We've got the roasted maple neck, and we've got the laurel board. We've got the locking tuners too. We've got the truss rod access down at the body and the spoke wheel, and we've got the HSS pickup configuration with the coil split as well. So it's got a little bit extra in that regard. The TE-62CC is super simple, but really dead on and solid and stable, and so is the JA-60CC. But overall, in terms of the build quality, what you get for your money, the winner is going to be the ST Modern in my eyes. Now, in terms of playability, that's also going to be a personal thing, but I find all three of these guitars very comfortable. A lot of that comes down to the neck, and some of it comes down to the body as well. I'm totally at home with tellies, so the TE-62 plays very naturally for me. It's got the slimmest neck of these three guitars, the modern D shape, and I actually prefer the neck profile of the other two. Now, the ST Modern has the Strat body with great upper fret access. It's got this beautiful slinky feeling roasted maple neck and this laurel board, and the frets have been done really well, so it plays beautifully, and the compound radius makes it really simple to play from all the way down to all the way up at the dusty end of the board. So it's a fantastic guitar in terms of playability, and that probably elevates it slightly over the JA-60CC and the TE-62CC. Now, the JA-60, the Jazzmaster type, has the chunkiest neck of the three guitars here, and it's a C shape as well, so slightly different to the other two, which are both modern D, and that might be your thing, but it might not be. Again, totally subjective. But for me, in the playability stakes, the upper fret access, this beautiful neck, means that the ST Modern is going to win for me there. And the final category where we're going to compare these guitars is possibly the most important for today, and it's the sounds. Now, I played a bunch of riffs in as many different styles as we could manage, and you've heard these guitars from the cleanest of cleans to the dirtiest of dirts. And well, if you want a guitar that can do everything, that can play every style of music 100% authentically, it's got to be the ST Modern. Now, an HSS Strat is one of the most versatile guitars out there. Add in the coil split with the bridge humbucker here, and you can do anything from warm jazzy chords and arpeggios through to down-tuned metal with the humbucker, and it'll work for that no problem. So if you're looking for an all-round guitar to cover absolutely every style in terms of sounds, well, the ST Modern wins it. These HBZ pickups are very decent sounding, they're classic sounding, but they do grunt really well as well. They're lovely for my favorite genres, indie rock and alternative rock, and they just work for anything. Now, when it comes to the other two guitars, you might think that they're a bit more niche, a bit more specialized, but they're both incredibly versatile too. With the TE-62CC, you've got Roswell Telecaster style pickups, and they will do anything as well. Now, of course, they're going to be thinner sounding than the bridge humbucker on the ST Modern and the Jazzmaster style pickups on the JA-60, but the TE-62CC also does a great job of any style of music. It's going to have the most country twang, if that's the kind of music that you want to play. It's great and aggressive for indie and alternative rock, does great classic rock too, but gets a little thinner and quite noisy when you're playing metal. That said, it's always got a great crispness and clarity that make it an excellent choice, and it would complement a second guitar in a band with a humbucker, for example, when playing higher gain styles of music. Now, the JA-60CC is a surprisingly beefy sounding guitar, and those JM style pickups are fantastic for so many different things. It's got a beautiful sound to it on the clean channel of my amp with a bit of reverb with both pickups selected. I could play that forever. It's really funky, it's really juicy and sparkly. It works so well for any of the styles of music that I personally play. Add in a bit of gain and it does get surprisingly beefy, and it's great for classic rock and harder rock styles and punk rock as well. And of course, being an offset, these JM pickups are going to be great for anything alternative rock. Splash on some delay and reverbs, and you can't get the wobble because you don't have the vibrato bar here, but it's wonderful for those styles of music. Now, if you're going to be playing metal, the JM style pickups will work, but they're not quite as home as the humbucker in the ST Modern. I would say that the JA-60CC with its JM style pickups actually has the most tonal character in its sound. There's something about those JM pickups that just works so well for certain styles of music and is instantly recognizable. But if you want to go tele-twang, go for the TE-62, and if you want a guitar that can do anything tonally and be safe and authentic, well, it's going to be the ST Modern. So the final questions to ask ourselves today then: which of these guitars is the best in my opinion, which is the best value for money, and which should you be adding to your collection if you're looking at one of these three? Well, for me personally, it's very tricky when it comes to selecting the best guitar. Now, if I could only own one of these three, based on the rest of my collection, I'd probably go with the ST Modern. I don't have another HSS Strat in my collection, and it's just a fantastic all-round guitar that I can use for so many different things. It's also, like the other two, an excellent modding platform. Should I wish to drop in more expensive boutique pickups or change the electronics or anything like that, I can do that no problem. And at the same time, I think the ST Modern represents just slightly better value for money than the others. And don't get me wrong, all three of these guitars are fantastic value for money, but you do just get a little bit more with the ST Modern. For example, you get the Sung Eel Harley Benton branded locking tuners. You also get this compound radius fingerboard alongside this lovely roasted maple neck. You also get the Sung Eel vibrato bridge, and that's another cool thing to have. Normally on affordable guitars, vibrato bridges are a no-no from me because they really distract from tuning stability, but this guitar is rock solid and stays in tune very well indeed. You also get the HSS pickup configuration, which is already the most versatile of the three here. Couple that though with the coil split and well, it becomes a no-brainer in my eyes. The other two guitars are fantastic and I'm happy that I own them both, but I've got a Fender Telecaster and I've got a GNL Tribute Doheny, and those are both kind of ballpark to the other two guitars. And at the end of the day, which one should you buy? Well, you should tell me in the comments which one you think you should buy, but again, go with what works best for you. I don't think you're going to be disappointed with any of these. They've all got very comfy necks, they're all fantastic value for money, and depending on what style you'd like to go in, well, you can choose based on that. Now, if you've got any more questions, please let me know and I shall answer to the best of my ability down there. And finally, is the ST Modern still the best sub $200 or Euro guitar out there? Well, after my research and testing in this video, I think it quite possibly is. But if you know of a guitar that's $200 or Euros or less, and you think it can compete with the ST Modern, let me know about it. I'll try and get one in. We'll compare it with the ST Modern and see which is the king of the sub $200 electric guitars. That's been it for today's video though. I'd love it if you could drop me a like or leave me a sub or anything like that, because that really does help. But that's been it for today's video. I've been Rich and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.